Good evening, you're watching This Week, a weekly news review program. I'm your host, Ulaanbaatar. And for top stories, 2,330 new cases of COVID-19 confirmed, 700 more people recovered and 4 fatalities reported in the last 5 days. Travel from Ulaanbaatar to the provinces banned for 14 days. Erdenes-Tavan Tolgoi bond financing is planned to be used for large-scale national development. And for the news, stay tuned. 2,330 new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed from 29th of March to 2nd of April, and 700 people have recovered and were transferred to home isolation. 70,000 people were tested during that period, and as of Friday, the total number of cases is now 9,327, of whom 5,216 have fully recovered. Out of the 9,990 patients who are currently undergoing treatment in medical facilities, 8 are in critical condition. 2,098 people are recovering at home, and to date more than 2,300,000 tests have been performed, of which 0.5% have been detected with coronavirus. There have been reported 4 fatalities this week. The government of Mongolia convened on Wednesday and decided not to impose a 2-week lockdown. However, operations of some sectors will be restricted from April 3rd till 18th.
The government of Mongolia has decided not to move to red level of the emergency response. However, the Prime Minister and cabinet members supported the proposal of the National Emergency Commission to restrict activities of some sectors nationwide between April 3rd and 18th. This is related to the policy of maintaining an infection control regime, protecting the public health, as well as to protect workplaces and businesses. According to the recent decision, restaurants, lounges, saunas, swimming pools, leisure centers, cinemas, entertainment and fitness centers, resorts and training centers will be completely closed. Food production and restaurants to operate pick-up and delivery services only. Hairdressers and beauty salons to work only on weekdays following infection control regime. Trade centers should be sterilized and disinfected, and the number of customers should not exceed 30% of the normal capacity. Only 30% of large markets such as Narantol, Harhoram, Bars, Huchit-Shonkhor and Narantol 2 will be open on weekdays and closed on weekends. Shops and malls will close at 8 p.m. The movement of citizens to provinces, except for good reasons such as attending a funeral, will be prohibited. Only truck drivers delivering food, freight, fodder and fuel will be allowed out of the city. Elderly people over the age of 60 are advised not to leave their homes unless it's necessary and should be inoculated with a COVID-19 vaccine shot in order to prevent infection. Public and private organizations are instructed to operate with no more than 30% of all staff.
The 10th meeting of the National Emergency Commission was held to discuss measures to be taken to tackle down the COVID-19 pandemic. The following decisions were made by the Commission.
Due to the increasing number of COVID-19 cases in Ulaanbaatar, travel out of the capital city to the provinces is banned for 14 days, starting at 6 a.m. on March 28. Only drivers of vehicles carrying essential products such as food, fuel, livestock feed, and medicine will be able to cross checkpoints under strict surveillance. Others wishing to travel outside of the city will have to receive permission from province emergency commissions and provide negative PCR test results to be considered for entry. Province governors were given instructions by their local emergency commissions to require those traveling between provinces to be quarantined for 5 to 7 days. Travel between SOMs and provinces is also banned. Travel to Umungao and Dorongao provinces is suspended for 14 days, also starting at 6 a.m. on March 28. The transportation of food, fuel, medicine, medical supplies, and livestock feed will be carried out only with permission from the local emergency management agency. On March 29th, COVID-19 vaccination began for people living in SOMs close to the border. Provinces with confirmed cases of COVID-19, such as Arhanga, Bayanghongor, Darhangul, Dorongao, Zavkhang, Orkhon, Tu, Huvsgul, Hinti, Urhanga, and Ovs have raised their emergency response levels to red level and will have stricter measures in place for residents until 6 a.m. on April 11th. In order to prevent the further spread of COVID-19 infections in the capital city and the provinces, directions were given to carry out a large-scale disinfection of public spaces, to establish strict infection control regimes, and to create green zones at sites of national importance and place of social and economic significance. Deputy Prime Minister also instructed state and local officials to meet with the management and representatives of major shopping centers, factories, and service centers about disinfection, testing, and adjusting their working hours, according to the government's Media Relations Office.
For the initial market order of Erdenes-Tavan Tolgoi joint stock company's bond, a bell-ringing ceremony took place at the Mongolian Stock Exchange on March 30th. The bond is part of the 10 trillion MNT comprehensive plan for economic recovery implemented by the government of Mongolia to attract investment by offering securities to the public.
Erdenes-Tavan Tolgoi bonds will be traded on the stock market in MNT and US dollars. Foreign currency transactions prevent exchange rate depreciation. A total of 40 million shares will be publicly traded from March 30th until April 2nd.
For the first time in Mongolia, Erdenes-Tavan Tolgoi, a major national developer, has successfully launched the first tranche of 600 billion Mongolian tugruks in bonds worth up to a total of 2 trillion MNT as part of the Mongolian government's 10 trillion US dollars comprehensive plan. In the past, to raise such a large amount of capital was only possible from abroad. But now I think it's a great opportunity to use all the domestic resources and to be able to maintain the bond returns in Mongolia. The bond is special itself, as it's issued in combination tugruk with the US dollar. In a sense, it's a combination of the US dollar and the tugruk, and a high-value bond has never been listed on the Mongolian stock exchange market. Today, only the first tranche was launched.
It is said that investing in bond financing will have a positive impact on the Mongolian stock market. A bond which is said to have higher interest rate than bank deposits will be sold in 3 stages.
The bond itself is issued in Mongolian tugruks and US dollars. The interest rate itself is high, so I think it's such an important product that attracts not only domestic but also foreign investors. As the largest Mongolian enterprise attracting capital, the export infrastructure issues will also be solved.
The return on the bond is estimated at 670,000 Mongolian tugruks. Officials say the benefits can be reaped in 3 months and not in 1 year.
As the Bank of Mongolia enters into an IPO treaty with commercial banks, it can be traded freely on the secondary market in 3 months, not necessary for a period of 2 or 3 years. We have a lot of research to do and monitoring of loans to invest in when a lot of bonds are issued.
Erdenes-Tavan Tolgoi bonds can be purchased through the Mongolian Stock Exchange listed securities company.
On January 26, Mr. Dawasambu successfully removed the threat of a possible collision of 2 airplanes in Mongolian airspace. Last week, his merit has been honored by the international public movement for providing safety for about 400 passengers.
Dawasambu Bolt is the air traffic controller at the National Civil Aviation Center. On January 26th, he was on duty when a Korean airplane heading to Mongolia altered its height near the border area of the Mongolian-Russian air gate. Then it flew at the same altitude with the airplane of the Russian airline Aeroflot, which was departing from Mongolia. Mr. Dawasambu promptly assessed the possible danger and immediately gave a command to change course to the Aeroflot crew, which was in his control zone. He had only 1 minute to ensure safety for the total of around 400 passengers of the 2 airplanes.
The plane of Korean Air Company previously notified us that it would cross the Mongolian border at an altitude of 10,100 meters. But around 4 minutes before crossing the border, it suddenly increased its altitude and started flying on similar coordinates to the departing plane. When I noticed it, I made the airplane in our zone change its course. There are 9 air gates between Russia and Mongolia. The incident occurred at the air gate near Irkutsk city in Russia. The plane heading to Mongolia raised its altitude without permission and created a high risk of a potential plane crash with a plane in front of it.
Mr. Davasambo's immediate action and proficiency was highly acknowledged by the international public movement called Air Navigation Without Borders, based in Russia. He has received a diploma stating, for special merits in ensuring flight safety in air traffic services. The administration also decided to mark his achievement in their gallery of historical events. The risk of plane accidents in the air route occurs very rarely, once or twice a year. The risk factors are mainly due to time zone differences and natural phenomena. When it comes to airspace safety assessment, Mongolia ranks 5th in Asia.
Now let's take a look at Mongolia's current affairs that happened this week.
Mongolia will be purchasing 1 million doses of the Sputnik vaccine. The Mongolian government's negotiations with the Russian Federation to secure doses have been successful. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs noted that the purchase is the result of continuous efforts made by the Mongolian government to secure vaccines, and she expressed her gratitude to Russia for its positive approach to the issue. Mongolia has received over 400,000 doses of COVID-19 vaccine so far, including 64,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine, 300,000 doses of the Sinopharm vaccine, 20,000 doses of the Sputnik vaccine, and 25,740 doses of the Pfizer vaccine. As of March 25th, 244,550 people have received their first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. 300,000 doses of the Sputnik vaccine are scheduled to be delivered in the beginning of April.
On April 1st, the World Bank country manager Andrei Mikhnev handed over personal protective equipment worth about $1 million to the Ministry of Health. The PPE purchased under the World Bank's Pandemic Emergency Response Facility grant will be used by the public officers at high-risk screening points and healthcare providers in selected areas. The PPE set includes single-use gloves, single-use masks, protective clothing, N95 mask, glasses, and face shields. The World Bank has been helping Mongolia meet emergency needs in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic and better prepare for future health crises through Mongolia COVID-19 Emergency Response and Health System Preparedness Project, approved in April 2020. Under the project, diagnostic and respiratory equipment and intensive care equipment for reanimation units have been provided for provincial and district hospitals in 21 provinces and 9 districts. In addition, the World Bank Board of Directors approved in February an additional financing of $50.7 million to help provide affordable and equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines and to further strengthen preparedness and response activities.
The Prime Minister of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, worked at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday, March 30th. At the beginning of the meeting, Foreign Minister Batsitsik briefed him on the current state of Mongolia's foreign relations, future trends and issues to be addressed. Prime Minister Ulaanbaatar got acquainted with the activities of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and held an online meeting with the heads of the Mongolian diplomatic missions abroad. He spoke in detail about the government's policies and measures and commented on the work that needs to be done in the field of foreign relations. In particular, he said there was an urgent need to speed up the delivery of the COVID-19 vaccines to boost the immunization process and to increase foreign investment in the economic recovery of Mongolia. He also called on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and diplomatic representative offices to work actively to restore the trust of the foreign partners and ensure the implementation of foreign policy in a unified manner and repatriate Mongolian citizens stuck abroad and protect their interests. During the e-meeting, the heads of diplomatic missions briefed the Prime Minister on completed tasks.
SDG-aligned budgeting to transform employment in Mongolia project's first steering committee meeting was held virtually. This project is implemented by UNDP Mongolia in partnership with UN Food and Agriculture Organization and the International Labour Organization with a duration of 3.5 years. The project aims to support employment and promotion of decent work and improved public finance management systems through results-oriented budget initiatives as direct contribution to the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. The project activities will be closely aligned to support the strategic plans of the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection, the Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Light Industry. The steering committee meeting reviewed and endorsed the 2021 annual work plan.
Now let's see what's happened in sports industry this week. The Tbilisi Grand Slam, one of the International Judo Federation's series of competitions, has ended in the Georgian capital on Sunday. The Mongolian national team took third place in the competition, winning 2 gold and 2 bronze medals. Canada came in second with 1 more silver medal than Mongolia, while Georgia led with 2 gold, 3 silver and France bronze medals. The IGF Grand Slam World Series was being held in Tbilisi, Georgia for the first time. A total of 464 judokas, 253 men and 211 women from 80 countries were competing. On the first day of the competition, Ulaanbaatar, a merited athlete of Mongolia and a complete medalist of the World Championship, won a 2nd gold medal in a row, increasing her ranking by 1,000 points to overtake Funa Tonaki of Japan and move up to 3rd place. Francesca Milan, the gold, silver and bronze medalist of the European Open for the title, was defeated by Erdenes-Tavan. As a result, she won the last 2 Grand Slams and is now ranked 3rd after Distria Krasniki of Kosovo and Daria Belodit of Ukraine in the Olympics and world rankings. On the 2nd day of the competition, Tsindochir Tsohtwater from Mongolia won a gold medal in the under 73 kg weight category. He also won the Tashkent Grand Slam and was able to bring a 3rd medal for Mongolia. Ulaanbaatar Tirling, the Masters champion in the men's under 66 kg weight class, won a bronze medal on the last day of the competition. He was ranked 2nd in his weight category, leading Group C and winning the first round. In the 2nd round, Tirling defeated Michael Fryer of Great Britain and Bekat Sifani of Georgia in the 3rd round. Less than 3 years after knee injuries threatened to end his career, Mongolian-born Turner Fuji kept his incredible comeback on Sunday, winning the Spring Grand Sumo tournament for his 3rd career title and earning re-promotion to the elite rank of Ozeki.
4 years to the tournament day,
the 29-year-old, who last wrestled at the sport's 2nd highest rank in September 2017, entered the 15th and final day at Tokyo's Rikoku Gokugikan with an 11-3 record and a 1-win lead over 3 wrestlers with 10 wins. Turner Fuji entered the meet focused on returning to his former rank and got what he came for when Japan Sumo Association President Hakaku agreed to have the Japan Sumo Association's Board of Directors meet to discuss his promotion. Turner Fuji's comeback drama provides a boost for the Japan Sumo Association following the retirement of the 1 Grand Champion Kakuryu this month and the news that its other Yokozuna, 44-time champion Hakuho, will likely be out until July with knee surgery. Turner Fuji, who earned his first promotion to Ozeki after winning the May 2015 Grand Tournament, soon began battling knee injuries. He had surgeries on both knees on June 25, 2018 and missed 4 straight Grand Tournaments. When he returned to the ring on March 10, 2019, in the 5th-tier Jonidan division, he became the first former Ozeki to compete in any of the sport's 3 lowest competitions. After winning the 2nd-tier Juryo division in January 2020 and following that with a 10-5 record a year ago, Turner Fuji became the first wrestler to return to the Makuuchi after sinking as far as the Jonidan ranks. His return was delayed until last July after the May tourney was cancelled due to the COVID-19 pandemic. His 13-2 record made him the 3rd wrestler in history to win a championship while fighting from the Makuuchi division's lowest rank. Well, that's all for this week. We'll see you next week with more news and updates. Have a nice evening. Goodbye.